Sometimes you feel like you're on top of the world until the next moment you're just not anymore. Life is full of unexpected events and situations that can bring so much bliss to our lives. It can also feel like it's just the end of the world. Hi friends, welcome back to Well Honey Home. Today's video is tender and very close to my heart. I want to share my journey of walking through pregnancy after a miscarriage. The emotions, the challenges, the thoughts. It kind of gave me so much to grow from. And thanks to the peace of God that actually took me along the way. If you're walking a similar path, I hope this feels like a warm cup of tea and a safe place for your heart. Before I share our 2 pregnancies after, I want to take a pause and honor the baby that we lost. Mother's Day is about to come very soon, and it honestly has not gotten easier every year that goes by. But for the first time, I truly feel like I'm healing and rebirthing once again. And miscarriage is more than just a word. It's a life, it's a hope, it's a dream that went to heaven. For me, it came with so much excitement and love and joy. And we wanted that baby so much, so much. When I started bleeding, I could not bear what was about to happen, and I knew from the beginning that it was not gonna. This bleeding lasted throughout like 3 days, and for those 2 days the heart was still beating. I was almost 6 weeks pregnant, and even if we could not hear it, they could see it. The doctors could see it. And I just could not bear what was gonna happen until on the 3rd day on the hospital. I saw everything go down like it was a hemorrhage. There was actually no pain, but the pain in my heart was incredibly sad. It was big. It was heartbreaking. There were tears. There were screams all throughout the room. I knew everybody could listen to me, but in my world I could not see or hear anybody. I could not feel the hugs from my husband, even though he was my tree that day and through the whole process. Prayers that felt like groans, and very long quiet days where I just simply sat with my grief. I heard comments from focus on what you have to if it was not meant to be, it was not meant to be, to there's a purpose for everything. And I could not sit with the other comments, but there's a purpose for everything. I just could not understand why or how. I can say that the purpose of this, because of all the pain that I was going through, we got invited into church, and my husband and I started assisting into a church that actually changed our life and my grief. We wanted to be in celibacy before we got married, so we spent 6 months in celibacy, but then doing that while you're living together is quite hard. So a few months before getting married, I found out that I was pregnant again. And to be honest, my first reaction was fear. Fear creeped into the emotions and what was supposed to be a moment of joy. It was just a mix of joy and fear. But I was with a friend and I just started crying instantly. Just started crying and she started praying for me. And that prayer honestly did give me so much security and hope. And then everything just started to bloom. But throughout my whole pregnancy, I was just in a quiet fear of what if. My heart carried both emotions every day. And by the grace of God, I actually had a very bad pregnancy. I was so nauseous. I could not get out of bed. I was just so tired all the time, but every little symptom, it was a celebration to my mind because I knew there was life in there. And it was a constant worry that I did not bear until almost the last month of my pregnancy, that I started to get excited that we had a baby girl coming. I had to remind myself constantly of 2 Timothy 1:7 that says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." I moved. I talked so much to my husband. I went to church and I prayed and I was basically covering myself in worship music and just reading the Bible so much. This was my anchor to nurturing peace. After we had our rainbow baby in 2024, we did decided to try again for another baby. And in this pregnancy, we had a lot of comments. We had a birth at home, but throughout the whole pregnancy, we kept hearing things that I know it was supposed to worry me so much, but because I learned that when you surrender and you let go of control completely and release that to God, you understand that God gives life and He can also take it, but in His care we will never be dismayed. So I want to share what helped me rest in peace even when uncertainty lingered throughout those 2 pregnancies. And number 1, it will be surrendering daily. I started each day by giving my baby, my body, and my heart to God completely. I started speaking life, and I whispered truth over my womb. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. I was constantly staying present, and I chose not to borrow tomorrow's worries. Today I am pregnant, today I am grateful, and today I have life in my belly. And in my second pregnancy, when I started to get results and comments from the doctors that something was wrong with my baby, I started declaring that there was a purpose for this life to be in my belly. And I did build community throughout this whole season. I connected with other mamas who understood the standard season that I was going through, but also I sought out to the wisdom, to the wise woman of the church, and that made such a difference because this woman walked with me through this whole process. They nurtured me, they gave me food, they prayed over my womb, they prayed over my belly. And if you're pregnant after loss or hoping to be, please know that you're not alone. Your emotions are valid, your worries are valid, your baby's life, no matter how long or short, matters deeply. So much. But in Psalm 34:18 says that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. So He is near to you. Take it one day at a time. Celebrate all the small milestones and wrap yourself in gentleness. Because, Mama, you're doing something so brave and you're changing the world by just having hope. I know that Mother's Day is coming soon, and I know it can be so hard out there for some of you mamas, but just know that one day you're gonna get into heaven, and the first thing that will welcome you in the gates will be the laughter of these babies. So I would love to hear your story or your heart in the comments, whether you're in the middle of this journey or walking alongside someone who is. Let's lift each other up. Let's be together. Let's hug each other throughout this cozy corner of the web. If this video encouraged you, feel free to like, subscribe, and share with a friend who might need this reminder of hope. Sending love from my heart to yours, and see you in the next video.
Dame a la Olivia, guy.